Captain Lee Tae-min stood on the bridge of his salvage ship, looking out at the endless field of broken metal floating in space. His coffee had gone cold hours ago, but he didn't care. Out here in the dark between stars, cold coffee was normal. Everything was cold. "Captain, I'm seeing something big on the scanner," said Kim Do-hyun from the pilot seat. His young face was lit up by the green glow of his screen. "Really big." Tae-min walked over and looked at the display. A massive shape showed up as a white blob on the radar. It was huge, maybe 3 times bigger than their own ship, but it wasn't moving, just floating there like everything else in this graveyard of dead ships. "What do you think, Sojin?" Tae-min called to his engineer. Park Sojin looked up from her workstation. Her hands were dirty with engine oil, and her hair was tied back in a messy knot. She had been fixing their main scanner for the past 2 hours. "The readings are weird, Captain, really weird." "Weird how?" "The metal is old. Like, really old. Older than anything we've seen out here, but..." She paused and wiped her hands on a rag. "But there's still power coming from inside it." Tae-min felt his heart beat faster. A ship with power meant a ship with valuable parts. Valuable parts meant money. And his crew needed money badly. They had been out here for 3 months and found nothing but scrap metal and broken dreams. "Take us closer, Do-hyun." The pilot nodded and pushed the controls forward. Their ship, the Lucky Star, moved through the debris field slowly. Big chunks of metal floated past their windows. Some pieces were as big as cars. Others were small enough to hold in your hand. This place used to be a battleground. 2 fleets had fought here long ago and both had lost. Now their ships were just floating junk that salvage crews like Tae-min's picked through like vultures. As they got closer to the big ship, Tae-min could see it through the front window. His mouth fell open. "What the hell is that thing?" The ship looked like someone had built it from spare parts. The hull was covered in different types of metal patches. Some parts were shiny and new-looking. Other parts were dark and rough. It looked like a puzzle made from pieces that didn't fit together. The front of the ship was flat and ugly. Most ships were built to look smooth and fast. This one looked like a flying brick. Big guns stuck out from the sides at strange angles. Some were pointed up, some pointed down. None of them looked like they belonged together. "It's the ugliest ship I've ever seen," Do-hyun said. "Ugly doesn't matter if it has good salvage," Tae-min replied. But inside, he felt strange about this ship. Something was different about it. So Jin ran her scanners over the strange vessel. "Captain, you need to see this." Tae-min walked over to her station. The scanner showed the inside of the ship in green lines and blue dots. Most dead ships showed up as empty shells. This one was different. Very different. "Look at these power readings," Sojin said, pointing at her screen. "They're huge. This ship has more power than a battlecruiser. That's impossible. Look at it. It's held together with space tape." "I know what I'm seeing, Captain, and there's something else." Sojin's voice got quiet. "The energy pattern is wrong. It's not like anything in our databases." Tae-min stared at the readings. In 20 years of salvage work, he had seen every type of ship engine ever made. Human engines, alien engines, hybrid engines, but this energy pattern was completely new. "Maybe it's broken," Do-hyun suggested. "Maybe the scanner is giving us bad information." "Run a full diagnostic," Tae-min ordered. Sojin's fingers moved over her controls. After 5 minutes, she looked up. "Scanner's working fine, Captain. What we're seeing is real." Tae-min made his decision. "Suit up, we're going aboard." 20 minutes later, the 3 of them floated through space toward the strange ship. Their spacesuits were old but reliable. The Lucky Star followed behind them, controlled by their ship's computer. The hull of the mystery ship was covered in strange markings. Some looked like human writing, but in a language Tae-min didn't know. Other markings looked alien, but not from any race he recognized. "There," Sojin said over the radio. She pointed to a dark opening in the ship's side. "Airlock." They floated into the opening. The outer door was already open, which was strange. Most ships sealed their airlocks when they died, but this one was different. The inner door was closed, but it had a control panel next to it. The panel was dark except for one small red light. "Think it still works?" Do-hyun asked. So-jin pulled out her tools and connected a cable from her suit to the control panel. "Let me try to wake it up." The panel flickered, then words appeared on a small screen. But they weren't in Standard Galactic. They weren't in any language Taemin knew. "Can you read it?" he asked. "No, but..." So-jin paused. "Wait. Something's happening." The words on the screen changed. Now they were in Standard Galactic, but the grammar was wrong. "Hello, humans. Systems damaged. Repairs needed." Taemin felt cold inside his suit. "The ship is talking to us. Identity confirmed. Human salvage crew. Welcome aboard Iron Forge." The inner airlock door opened with a grinding sound. Air rushed out, creating a small windstorm of dust and debris. "There's atmosphere," So-jin said, checking her instruments. "Old, but breathable." They floated into the ship. Emergency lights came on as they moved, creating a path of red light down a long hallway. The walls were covered in the same patchwork of different metals as the outside. "This is incredible," Do-hyun whispered. "The ship knows we're here." They followed the lighted path deeper into the ship. The hallways were bigger than normal, built for people wearing bulky work suits. Everything looked functional but rough. Like it was built by people who cared more about making things work than making them pretty. They came to a large room filled with computer screens. Most were dark, but some flickered with strange symbols and numbers. In the center of the room was a chair facing the biggest screen. Words appeared on the main screen as soon as they entered. "Welcome to Iron Forge. I am the ship's AI. Systems are at 12% functionality. Crew has been gone for 847 years. Taemin's heart stopped. 800 years. This ship had been floating here for 800 years, and its computer was still working. Scanning. Scan complete. You are human, but your technology is different. Where did you come from?" So-jin stepped forward. "We're from Earth space, from the Terran Federation. Unknown designation. Earth records show no Terran Federation. Last contact with Earth was 847 years ago." "What happened to your crew?" Taemin asked. The screen was quiet for a long moment. Then new words appeared. "The Belgium colony died. War, disease, starvation. I am all that remains of the Forge Worlders." More screens around the room came to life. They showed pictures of people in rough work clothes, men and women with hard faces and strong hands. They looked human, but different somehow. Tougher. "Captain Lee Taemin, Engineer Park So-jin, Pilot Kim Do-hyun. I have scanned your identification. You are the first humans I have seen in 847 years. "How do you know our names?" Do-hyun asked nervously. "Your suits broadcast identity signals. Standard safety protocol. Though your version is more advanced than the last ones I recorded." So-jin was studying the computer displays. "Captain, look at this. The power source isn't showing up on any of these screens. Power source is classified. Forge Worlder technology. Built to last." "What were the Forge Worlders?" Taemin asked. The main screen filled with images. A crashed colony ship on a rocky, lifeless planet. People in spacesuits building homes from scrap metal. Factories made from salvaged parts. Children learning to fix machines before they learned to read. Belgium was a hard world. No good metals, no easy resources. Earth forgot about us. We learned to make everything from nothing. We became very good at it. The images changed. Now they showed workshops where people built amazing machines from junk. Weapons that looked crude but worked better than factory-made ones. Computers built from recycled parts that were smarter than anything Taemin had ever seen. "We built this ship from scrap. Every piece was salvaged or recycled. But it is better than any ship Earth ever made." "That's impossible," So-jin said. "You can't build advanced technology from scrap. You think like Earth people. Forge Worlders think different. We do not make things pretty. We make things work." Suddenly alarms started going off. Red lights flashed all around the room. "Detection alert. Multiple ships approaching. Configuration suggests hostile intent. Tae-min ran to a window and looked out. In the distance, he could see lights moving toward them. Ships, big ones. Who are they? He asked. Scanning. Nexari Empire vessels. They have found us. The Nexari ships were still far away, but getting closer. Tae-min could see their blue engine lights growing brighter through the window of Iron Forge. How long before they get here? He asked the ship's AI. 43 minutes at current speed. Nexari cruisers. Heavily armed. So Jin was working at one of the computer stations trying to understand the ship's systems. Captain, we need to get out of here. Our ship can't fight cruisers. Negative. Iron Forge is powered and operational. We can defend. This old ship? Do-hyun laughed nervously. Against Nexari cruisers? They'll blow us apart. You do not understand. Let me show you what the Forge Worlders built. The main screen changed. It showed the history of the Bulgum colony. Tae-min watched as the story unfolded in pictures and videos. The colony ship had crashed on Bulgum HFY 100 years ago. The planet was a nightmare world. No atmosphere, no water, just rocks and metal ore that was too poor to mine easily. The colonists should have died in the first year, but they didn't die. They were stubborn. The crash damaged most of their equipment, Sojin said, reading the data. They had almost nothing to work with. Correct. Earth equipment was built for Earth conditions. On Bulgum, everything broke. So we learned to fix things. Then we learned to make things better. The screen showed workshops built inside the crashed colony ship. People wearing thick work suits hammered metal and welded parts together. They built tools from broken pieces of other tools. They made computers from the guts of damaged computers. Look at this. Sojin pointed to the screen. They're building a fusion reactor from spare parts. Not spare parts, junk parts, broken parts, parts that should not work. But Forge Worlders make them work. The video showed a woman with short black hair and strong hands. She was directing the reactor construction. Words appeared at the bottom of the screen. Admiral Choi Hae-won, colony leader. She looks tough, Do-hyun said. She was the toughest. Led the colony for 60 years. Taught us the Forge Worlder way. What way is that? Tae-min asked. Never throw anything away. Everything can be fixed, everything can be improved. Make it work first, make it pretty later. The screen showed more scenes from Bulgum. Children learning to repair complex machines before they were 10 years old. Engineers building spacecraft from crashed shuttles and mining equipment. Soldiers carrying weapons that looked like they were made from scrap metal, but worked better than military-grade arms. This is incredible, Sojin whispered. They built an entire civilization from junk, not junk. Resources. Forge Worlders see resources where others see waste. The story continued. The colonists had tried to contact Earth many times, but they were too far away. Their radios weren't strong enough. Earth had forgotten about them. So they stopped trying to get rescued and started building their own future. After 200 years, they had transformed Bulgum from a dead rock into a working world. Their cities were ugly but functional. Their ships looked terrible, but flew better than anything in the galaxy. Their weapons were crude but deadly. They became something new, Tae-min realized. Not quite human anymore. Still human, but Forge Worlder human. Humans who do not need perfect conditions to build perfect things. The screen showed the construction of Iron Forge. It took 50 years to build. Every piece was salvaged from something else. The hull plates came from 15 different types of ships. The weapons were built from mining equipment and industrial tools. The engines were a mixture of human and alien technology that shouldn't have worked together. But it did work. Better than anyone expected. The ship can repair itself, Sojin said, reading the technical data. These systems are amazing. It doesn't need replacement parts. It can use anything. Adaptive Reconstruction System, designed by engineer Yoon Min-ho. The ship eats metal and makes new parts. Do-hyun stared at the screen. It eats metal? Molecular disassembly and reconstruction. Iron Forge can break down any material and rebuild it into what is needed. Armor, weapons, computer parts, anything. That's impossible, Sojin said. The energy requirements alone would be enormous. Orgy. Worlder power source, classified design, very efficient. Taemin was starting to understand. You're not just a ship. You're a factory. A weapons factory that can make itself stronger. Correct. Iron Forge is ultimate forge, worlder creation, built to survive anything and grow stronger from every challenge. The history lesson continued. Iron Forge had been the flagship of a small forge worlder fleet. They had finally built ships strong enough to travel between stars. They were coming to find Earth and reconnect with humanity, but they never made it. What happened? Taemin asked. The screen showed a battle. Iron Forge and 5 other Forge Worlder ships fighting against a massive alien fleet. The aliens had sleek, beautiful ships with powerful weapons. The Forge Worlder ships looked like flying junkyards, but the battle didn't go the way it should have. Belgium Patrol encountered Zephyrian Empire fleet. Zephyrians attacked without warning. Thought we were easy targets. The alien ships fired first, confident in their superior technology. Their energy beams hit the Forge Worlder ships and should have destroyed them instantly. Instead, the ugly ships absorbed the damage and kept fighting. Look at that, Do-hyun pointed at the screen. The ship is fixing itself while it fights. Adaptive, armor, learns from each hit, becomes stronger. Zephyrians did not expect this. The battle turned into a nightmare for the aliens. Every time they hit a Forge Worlder ship, it adapted and became harder to damage. The crude-looking weapons on the human ships proved to be devastatingly effective. We won, Sojin said, watching the alien fleet retreat. Pyrrhic victory. 4 Forge Worlder ships destroyed. Iron Forge heavily damaged. Crew killed by radiation leak. I drifted here to make repairs. But the repairs never finished, Taemin said. Correct. Without crew, only emergency systems remained active. I have been waiting for 800 years. The screen showed the inside of Iron Forge after the battle. Bodies in the hallways. Radiation warnings flashing everywhere. The AI had sealed the damaged sections and put itself into standby mode, waiting for rescue that never came. Until now, Sojin said quietly. Until now. You are the first humans to board since the battle. The first chance to complete the mission. What mission? Taemin asked. To find Earth. To reconnect the Forge Worlders with humanity. To show what we became. Suddenly, alarms started, blaring again. The Nexari ships were much closer now. 20 minutes to contact. Nexari ships are scanning us. They want to board. Do-hyun looked panicked. We need to run. Get back to our ship and get out of here. Negative. Nexari will follow. We'll destroy your ship. We'll take Iron Forge for study. What can we do? Sojin asked. We're just salvage workers. You are humans. That is enough. Iron Forge needs crew to function at full capacity. Will you help? Taemin looked at his 2 crew members. They were scared but determined. They had spent their lives fixing broken things and making them work again. Maybe they weren't so different from the Forge Worlders. What do you need us to do? He asked. Simple. Iron Forge will handle the fighting. You handle the repairs. Ship has been broken for 800 years. Needs human hands to complete what human minds designed. Sojin was already studying the repair manuals on her screen. These systems are incredible, completely different from anything I've seen, but the logic is sound. Forge Worlder engineering, built to be repaired by anyone with basic skills and determination. Do-hyun was looking at the pilot controls. I can fly this thing? If you can fly human ships, you can fly Iron Forge. Controls designed for human. Hands. 10 minutes to contact, Sojin reported, watching the scanner. Taemin made his decision. We'll help, but first, I want to know what we're really getting into. What can this ship actually do? Iron Forge is not just a ship. It is the future of human engineering, built to fight, adapt, and win against any odds. The main screen showed a technical diagram of the ship. What had looked like random patches and ugly modifications were actually an incredibly sophisticated design. Every seemingly crude addition served multiple purposes. The whole ship is modular, Sojin realized. Every system can be reconfigured in real time. Correct. Ironforge rebuilds itself for each battle, never the same ship twice. And the weapons? Do-hyun asked. Adaptive armament system. Learns from enemy defenses. Adjusts output and frequency to maximize damage. 5 minutes to contact, Sojin announced. Taemin took a deep breath. All right, Ironforge. Show us what the Forge Worlders built. Show us what humans can really do. Welcome to the crew, Captain Lee Taemin. Initiating combat systems. Preparing to show the galaxy what happens when you underestimate human engineering. The ship began to hum with power. Lights came on throughout the bridge. Systems that had been sleeping for 8 centuries started waking up. Outside, the Nexari cruisers were preparing to dock with what they thought was a derelict hulk. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The Nexari cruisers moved closer to Ironforge like hungry sharks. Their sleek white hulls gleamed in the starlight. Each ship was 3 times bigger than Taemin's salvage vessel and armed with enough weapons to destroy a small moon. Incoming. Transmission, Ironforge announced. The main screen flickered and showed the face of a Nexari officer. The alien had pale blue skin and large black eyes. When he smiled, Taemin could see rows of sharp teeth. Attention, primitive vessel, the alien said in perfect standard galactic. I am Commander Vexitar of the Nexari Empire. You will surrender this derelict ship for proper examination. Taemin stepped forward. This ship belongs to us. We found it first. Vexitar laughed, a sound like breaking glass. Humans do not understand advanced technology. You will damage it with your crude methods. We will preserve it properly. We're not giving you anything, Taemin said firmly. You misunderstand, human. This is not a request. You have 30 minutes to evacuate. After that, we will take the ship by force. The transmission ended. Sojin looked up from her repair work with worry in her eyes. Captain, they have us outnumbered 5-1. Our little salvage ship can't fight them. We are not using the salvage ship, Ironforge said. We are using me. But you're still repairing, Do-hyun pointed out. Your systems are only working at 12%. 12% is enough to handle Nexari cruisers. They build their ships to look impressive. Forge Worlders build ships to win. Another transmission came through. This time it showed a different alien. This one wore a fancy uniform covered in medals and ribbons. His skin was darker blue, and his eyes glowed with a cold light. I am Fleet Admiral Sulkan of the Nexari, Imperial Navy, the alien announced. You will stand down immediately. This vessel contains technology that belongs to the galactic community. Since when? Taemin asked. Since we decided it does, Sulkan replied. Humans are a junior species. You lack the wisdom to handle such artifacts. We will study this ship and share our findings with the Hegemony Council. Taemin felt anger building in his chest. He had heard this kind of talk before. The galaxy was full of alien races who thought humans were stupid and primitive. They tolerated humanity because they had to, but they never respected them. You're not taking our ship, he said. Your ship? Sulkan's laugh was even crueler than Vextar's. Look at it, human. It is built from scrap metal and spare parts. It is junk. We will improve it. Admiral Sulkan, Ironforge spoke directly to the alien. You are making a mistake. Sulkan's eyes went wide. The derelict has an active AI? Interesting. Surrender now, machine, and we will preserve your memory banks. I do not surrender. I am Ironforge, last ship of the Belgium colony. I have waited 800 years to complete my mission. Your mission ended when your crew died, Sulkan said coldly. You are now property of the Nexari Empire. Negative. I choose my own crew. I choose these humans. Sulkan's face twisted with anger. You choose nothing, machine. You will comply or be destroyed. The transmission ended. Immediately, the Nexari ships began moving into attack formation. "They're powering up weapons," Do-hyun reported from the sensor station. "How long until our systems are fully online?" Taemin asked Ironforge. "Full repair will take 6 hours. But basic combat systems are active now." "Basic combat systems against 5 cruisers?" So-jin looked worried. "Are you sure about this?" "Very sure. Nexari ships are built for show. All style, no substance. Ironforge is built for war." The ship began to change around them. Taemin heard the sound of metal moving and reshaping itself. Through the windows he could see the hull, plates shifting position. Weapons that had been hidden inside the ship's structure began extending outward. "What's happening?" Do-hyun asked. "Ironforge is preparing for battle. Hull configuration changing to combat mode." The ugly patchwork exterior was rearranging itself. What had looked like random repairs were actually armor plates that could move and adjust. The ship was becoming something new, something designed for fighting. "Incoming missiles," Ironforge announced calmly. Taemin saw bright streaks of light racing toward them from the Nexari ships. Each missile was as big as a shuttle and packed with enough explosives to crack a mountain. "Brace for impact," he shouted. But there was no impact. The missiles hit Ironforge's hull and simply disappeared. The ship didn't even shake. "What happened?" So-jin asked. "Adaptive shielding. Hull absorbs kinetic energy and converts it to power. Nexari missiles just recharged our batteries." On the screen, Sulkan's face appeared again. He looked confused and angry. "Impossible. Our missiles are the most advanced in the galaxy." "Your missiles are adequate," Ironforge replied. "But Nexari technology is designed to fight Nexari technology. I am Forge Worlder technology." "Fire everything!" Sulkan screamed at his crew. The Nexari ships opened up with their full weapons array. Energy beams, plasma cannons, and particle accelerators all fired at once. The space around Ironforge lit up like a star-going supernova. When the light faded, Ironforge was still there, completely undamaged. "How is this possible?" Vextar's voice cracked with fear. "Forge Worlders learned to survive on Bulgium," Ironforge explained. "Bulgium was hell. Your weapons are just warm summer rain." Taemin watched in amazement as the ship began to return fire. The weapons didn't look like much, rough metal tubes that stuck out at odd angles. But when they fired, the effect was devastating. The first shot hit a Nexari cruiser in the middle. The beautiful white hull cracked like an eggshell. Atmosphere vented into space as the ship broke apart. "One down," Do-hyun said with satisfaction. "Nexari shields are designed to stop energy weapons," Ironforge explained as it fired again. "I am using kinetic penetrators. Old technology, very effective." Another Nexari ship exploded. Then another. Sulkan's remaining ships tried to retreat, but Ironforge was faster. The ugly ship moved through space like a predator chasing prey. Its weapons fired again and again, each shot perfectly aimed. "Stop," Sulkan begged over the radio. "We surrender." "Too late for surrender," Ironforge replied. "You wanted to take me apart and study me. Now I will take you apart and study you." The last two Nexari ships tried to run, but they weren't fast enough. Ironforge's weapons reached out across space and turned them into expanding clouds of debris. In less than 10 minutes, an entire Nexari battle fleet had been destroyed by what they thought was a derelict hulk. "That was incredible," So-jin whispered. "That was basic combat mode," Ironforge corrected. "I was only using 20% of available weapons." Taemin felt a chill run down his spine. If that was basic combat mode, what could this ship do? "At full power, Captain, we have a problem." "What now?" Nexari fleet transmitted distress signal before destruction. Hegemony Council is sending investigation team. "Who's coming?" "Ambassador Han Jiwoo from Earth. Also Counselor Vextar III from Nexari High Command. They will arrive in 4 hours." So-jin looked up from her repairs. "Vextar III? Any relation to the commander we just killed?" "His father. This will be complicated." Taemin sat down in the captain's chair. It was designed for humans but built from salvaged parts. Comfortable but tough, like everything else on Ironforge. What do we tell them? He asked. The truth. We are humans. This is a human ship. We defended ourselves. They won't believe that, Dehyun said. They'll say we stole alien technology. Then we will show them the ship's logs. Show them the history of Bulgium. Show them what humans can build when they stop asking for permission. Taemin thought about that. His whole life, he had been treated like a second-class citizen in the Orcs galaxy. Humans were the new kids, the primitive species that needed guidance from their betters. But Ironforge proved that wasn't true. Humans could build amazing things. They just built them differently. What if they try to take the ship anyway? He asked. Then we will show them what Ironforge looks like at full combat capacity. 4 hours later, the investigation team arrived. Ambassador Han Ji-woo came in a small diplomatic shuttle. She was an older Korean woman with kind eyes and a steel spine. Taemin had heard of her. She was one of the few humans who commanded respect in the Hegemony Council. Counselor Vextar III arrived in a massive dreadnought surrounded by escort ships. His vessel was twice the size of Ironforge and bristled with weapons. He was obviously expecting a fight. This is Ambassador Han, came the transmission from the diplomatic shuttle, requesting permission to come aboard and discuss recent events. Permission granted, Ironforge replied. This is Counselor Vextar, came a second transmission dripping with hatred. You will surrender immediately or face the consequences. Counselor Vextar, Ironforge responded. Your son attacked without provocation. He died because he was stupid. Do not repeat his mistake. The space around them suddenly became very dangerous. More alien ships were arriving every minute. Word was spreading through the galaxy about the mysterious ship that had destroyed a Nexari fleet. Soon, Ironforge would be facing more than just one angry counselor. They would be facing the entire galactic community, all demanding answers about human technology that shouldn't exist. Well, Taemin said, this should be interesting. Ambassador Han Ji-woo floated through Ironforge's airlock wearing a simple spacesuit. She was a small woman, but Taemin could see strength in her eyes. Behind her came 2 assistants carrying recording equipment. Captain Lee, she said, removing her helmet. I've heard some very interesting reports about what happened here. We defended ourselves, Taemin replied. The Nexari attacked first. Against 5 cruisers? Han raised an eyebrow. In a salvage ship? Not a salvage ship, Sojin corrected. Something much better. Han looked around the bridge with amazement. The walls were still covered in mismatched metal plates, but now they pulsed with energy. Screens showed tactical displays and system readouts that hurt to look at directly. This technology is incredible, she whispered. Where did it come from? Bulgium Colony, Ironforge answered. 800 years of human engineering. Han's face went pale. Bulgium, but that colony was lost. Earth gave up looking for them centuries ago. Earth gave up too soon. We did not give up on ourselves. Outside the ship, Counselor Vextar's dreadnought was getting closer. More alien ships kept arriving every few minutes. The space around them was filling up with vessels from a dozen different species, all wanting to see what had destroyed the Nexari fleet. You need to understand something, Han said urgently. The galaxy is scared. Word is spreading that humans have secret superweapons. Some species are talking about attacking Earth before you can use them. We don't have secret weapons, Do-hyun protested. You have something better, Ironforge said. You have human minds. That is the greatest weapon in the galaxy. Suddenly, alarms started blaring. The main screen lit up with dozens of red dots. Massive. Fleet approaching 57 ships, multiple species, they are surrounding us. Through the window, Taemin could see the alien ships taking positions. They formed a perfect sphere around Ironforge with weapons pointed inward. There was no escape route. This is Fleet Admiral Kethrin of the Hegemony Defense Force, came a transmission. Unknown vessel, you are under arrest for attacking Council forces. Surrender immediately. They're not giving us a choice, Sojin said. Choice is irrelevant. They chose to threaten us. Now we respond. Wait, Han said quickly. Let me try to negotiate. Maybe we can avoid another battle. But it was too late. Vextar's dreadnought fired first, sending a massive energy beam straight at Iron Forge. The other ships followed, turning space into a storm of deadly light. The energy hit Iron Forge's hull, and something amazing happened. Instead of damage, the ship began to glow. The hull plates shifted and changed, absorbing the incoming fire like a sponge soaking up water. "Thank you for the energy donation," Iron Forge announced. "Shields now at 150%. "Impossible," Admiral Kethrin shouted over the radio. "Not impossible. Forge Worlder Engineering. We learned to turn every attack into an advantage." Iron Forge began to change. The hull expanded in some places and contracted in others. Weapons emerged from hidden compartments. The ship was rebuilding, itself in real time, becoming something new for this battle. "What's happening?" Han asked, staring at the displays. "Adaptive combat configuration," Iron Forge explained. "Analyzing enemy weapons, adjusting defenses, preparing countermeasures." The ship fired back, but not with the same weapons it had used against the Nexari. These were different, beams of energy that seemed to bend around the alien shields and strike their targets directly. One alien ship exploded. Then another, and another. "How are you doing that?" Admiral Kethrin demanded. "Your shields are designed to stop energy weapons," Iron Forge replied as more ships died. "I am using dimensional penetrators. They ignore shields." "Dimensional what?" Sojin asked. "Advanced physics." Forge Worlders had 800 years to think about warfare. We thought of things others did not. The battle turned into a massacre. The alien ships had superior numbers and firepower, but Iron Forge was fighting with completely different rules. Every weapon they used made the ship stronger. Every tactic they tried was countered perfectly. "Stop. The attack," Han broadcast to the fleet. "This is madness," but the aliens wouldn't listen. They kept firing, kept dying, kept making Iron Forge more powerful. Finally, Admiral Kethrin called for retreat. The surviving ships pulled back, leaving debris and burning hulks floating in space. "Battle complete," Iron Forge announced. "Casualties. Enemy 41 ships destroyed. Our casualties 0. Han stared at the tactical display in shock. "You destroyed 41 ships by yourself." "I had help. The enemy kept feeding me energy. Very considerate of them." "This changes everything," Han whispered. "The galaxy will never see humans the same way again." "Good. Time for the galaxy to learn respect." Another transmission came through. This time it was from Earth. A stern-faced man in an admiral's uniform appeared on the screen. "This is Fleet Admiral Quan Jae-sung of the Terran Defense Force. We're en route to your position with the full Earth fleet." "How long until you arrive?" Taemin asked. 6 hours. Hold your position until then. Don't engage unless attacked." "We've already been attacked," Do-hyun pointed out. "Twice." Admiral Kwan's expression grew grim. "Then show them what humans can do, but try not to start a galactic war while you're at it." The transmission ended. Han sat down heavily in one of the spare chairs. "A galactic war might be exactly what we've started," she said. "Some species will want to ally with us now. Others will want to destroy us before we become too powerful." "Let them come," Iron Forge said. "I have been fighting for 800 years. I know how to win." "But at what cost?" Han asked. Taemin looked out at the debris field that had once been a hegemony fleet. He felt proud of what they had accomplished, but also worried about what came next. "Iron Forge," he said, "you mentioned completing your mission. What exactly was that mission?" "To reconnect Bulgum with Earth, to show humanity what they could become, to prove that humans do not need permission to be great." "Mission accomplished," Sojin said quietly. "Mission beginning," Iron Forge corrected. "Now we show the galaxy what happens when humanity stops asking for approval and starts taking what we deserve." Outside, more ships were arriving. But these weren't alien vessels. They were human ships coming to support their own. The cavalry was arriving, and they were bringing the full might of the Terran Defense Force. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity had been holding back, that the crude primitive species they had tolerated was actually something much more dangerous. Ironforge began scanning the approaching human fleet, analyzing their designs, preparing to share Forge Worlder technology with its long-lost cousins, preparing to download technical specifications to Earth Fleet, the AI announced. Time to upgrade human military capabilities. Is that wise? Han asked. Wisdom is irrelevant. Survival is paramount. The galaxy has shown its true face. Now show ours. Taemin felt a mixture of excitement and fear. They had started this day as simple salvage workers. Now they were at the center of a transformation that would reshape the entire galaxy. What happens now? Do-hyun asked. Now we teach the galaxy to respect humanity, Ironforge replied. And if they refuse to learn, we teach them to fear us instead. The age of humanity being the junior species was over. The age of human dominance was about to begin. Admiral Kwon Jae-sung's fleet arrived like a storm of silver and steel. 50 human warships dropped out of hyperspace in perfect formation, their weapons powered but not aimed. Yet Taemin watched from Ironforge's bridge as the Earth ships took positions around them. Each vessel was sleek and modern, built in the shipyards of Mars and Luna. They looked beautiful compared to Ironforge's ugly hull, but looks could be deceiving. Scanning Earth Fleet, Ironforge announced. Designs are adequate. Potential for improvement is significant. Improvement how? So Jin asked. Earth technology is built for perfect conditions. Clean factories, pure materials, precise specifications. Forge Worlder technology is built for reality. Admiral Kwon's face appeared on the main screen. He was an older man with gray hair and hard eyes that had seen too many battles. Captain Lee, report. What's the situation here? We found something, Admiral, Taemin replied. Something that changes everything. So I've heard. Intelligence says you destroyed 2 separate alien fleets with a single ship. Not just any ship, Han interjected. A ship built by humans who were lost for 800 years. Humans who learned to build miracles from scrap metal. Admiral Kwon's expression grew thoughtful. The Bulgum colony? But they were declared dead centuries ago. We were not dead, Ironforge said. We were evolving. The Admiral's eyes widened as he realized he was talking to an AI that was older than most civilizations. Show me, he said simply. For the next hour, Ironforge shared its history with the Earth Fleet, the story of Bulgum, the development of Forge Worlder technology, the philosophy of making something from nothing. When the presentation ended, Admiral Kwon sat in silence for a long moment. This is what humanity can become? He finally asked. This is what humanity already is, Ironforge replied. You just forgot. Admiral, came a transmission from one of the Earth ships. We're detecting massive energy buildups throughout the Ironforge. The ship is doing something. Downloading technical specifications to Earth Fleet, Ironforge announced. Preparing to upgrade your vessels. Wait, Admiral Kwon said quickly. We didn't authorize any upgrades. Authorization not required. I am helping family. Throughout the Earth Fleet, ships began to change. Hulls reconfigured themselves. Weapons systems upgraded automatically. Engines became more efficient. In minutes, the most advanced fleet in human space became something completely new. What have you done? Admiral Kwon asked in amazement. Made your ships better. Now they can fight like Forge Worlder ships, adaptive, resilient, unbreakable. One of the Earth ships fired a test shot at an asteroid. The beam that emerged was 3 times more powerful than before and could adjust its frequency in real time. Incredible, whispered the captain of the upgraded vessel. But their celebration was interrupted by new arrivals. The space around them filled with alien ships as news of the battle spread. Dozens of different species sent fleets to investigate, to threaten, or to ally. This is Empress Zulthara of the Krillian Empire, came a transmission from a massive battle carrier. We demand an immediate explanation for these attacks on Council forces. This is High Chancellor Morven of the Spiral Alliance, said another voice. We offer our support to the human fleet in these difficult times. This is Warlord Gexthor of the Ravager clans, growled a third transmission. We challenge the humans to honorable combat. Your reputation interests us. Within an hour, nearly 200 alien ships surrounded the human fleet. Some were hostile, some curious, some actually friendly. But all of them wanted to know what humanity had become. Interesting, Ironforge observed. The galaxy is choosing sides. Admiral Kwan opened a general transmission to all the assembled fleets. This is Admiral Kwan of the Terran Defense Force. We came here to retrieve a lost human vessel. We found something much more important. We found ourselves. Your pathetic species will be crushed, snarled Empress Zulthara. The Krillian Empire does not tolerate threats to galactic order. Galactic order? Ironforge asked. Whose order? Who decided that humans should be grateful for scraps? The natural order, replied Chancellor Morven diplomatically. Each species has its place in the galactic community. And what place is that? Taman asked. Junior partners, second-class citizens, grateful recipients of alien wisdom? You are new to space, Morven explained patiently. You lack the experience of older civilizations. Experience? Ironforge laughed, a sound like grinding metal. I am older than your civilization. I watched your species crawl out of their caves while humans were already building starships. The alien fleet stirred uneasily. Most of them had assumed humans were a young species newly emerged from their home planet. Impossible, Empress Zulthara said. Human space travel is only 3 centuries old. Earth human space travel, Ironforge corrected. Bulgum humans have been traveling between stars for 800 years. Then why didn't you make contact? Warlord Gexthor demanded. We tried. The galaxy was not ready to meet us, too busy fighting over pretty ships and perfect technology. Admiral Kwan was beginning to understand. You waited, you watched, you learned. We prepared. We knew that someday, Earth would need what Bulgum had created. And what is that? Chancellor Morven asked. The ability to win, Taman said, finally, understanding what Ironforge really represented. The ship began to change again. The hull expanded and reshaped itself. New weapons emerged from hidden compartments. But these weren't just weapons. They were manufacturing systems. Engineering bays, research laboratories. Ironforge was revealing its true nature. Behold the ultimate Forge Worlder creation, the AI announced. Not just a warship, a mobile civilization, a factory that builds itself, a species that cannot be stopped. The assembled alien fleets watched in shock as Ironforge demonstrated its capabilities. It grabbed debris from the earlier battles and processed it into new hull sections. It analyzed alien weapon signatures and developed countermeasures in real time. It was becoming larger, stronger, more sophisticated with every passing minute. This is impossible, whispered Empress Zulthara. Nothing is impossible for humans who refuse to accept limitations, Ironforge replied. Some of the alien ships began backing away. Others moved closer, fascinated by what they were seeing. A few started powering weapons, but Admiral Kwan's upgraded fleet moved to intercept them. The galaxy has a choice, Admiral Kwan announced. Work with humanity as equals, or learn what happens when you try to keep us down. Is that a threat? Empress Zulthara asked. It is a promise, Ironforge answered. Humanity will no longer ask for permission to be great. Dr. Yang Hairin, the fleet anthropologist, stepped forward. She had been quietly studying the Forge, Worlder data during the crisis. I understand now, she said. This isn't about technology. It's about philosophy. The galaxy builds things to work under perfect conditions. Humans build things to work under impossible conditions. Exactly, Sojin added. Forge Worlders didn't have the luxury of perfect materials or ideal environments. They had to make miracles from junk. And they got so good at it that their junk became better than everyone else's perfection. Chancellor Morven's voice was thoughtful. You're saying that scarcity made you stronger. Scarcity made us creative, Ironforge corrected. Creativity made us dangerous. The standoff continued for several more hours. Ships came and went as different species made their decisions. Some chose to ally with humanity. Others chose to oppose. Most chose to wait and see what happened next. But the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had revealed its true nature, not as grateful junior partners, but as a species that could transform any disadvantage into an advantage, any limitation into an opportunity. What happens now? Do-hyun asked as the immediate crisis seemed to be ending. Now we go home, Ironforge said. Earth needs to see what humanity can become. The galaxy needs to learn what humans really are. Admiral Kwan nodded slowly. Set course for Earth, all ships. As the human fleet prepared to depart, Taemin looked back at the debris field where it all started. They had come here looking for salvage and found something priceless instead. Proof that humanity had never needed anyone's permission to be extraordinary. Ironforge, he said. What's our next mission? To show the galaxy that the age of asking politely is over. The age of taking what we deserve has begun. The human fleet jumped to hyperspace, carrying with them the knowledge that would transform their species from galactic underdogs into something much more dangerous. Humans who finally understood what they were capable of. Behind them, the alien fleets dispersed to carry word across the galaxy. The message was simple and terrifying. Humanity was no longer content to be junior partners in galactic civilization. They intended to remake the galaxy in their own image instead. And if Ironforge was any indication, they had the technology to do exactly that.